We are red. Red is on.
Okay, good evening, and I'll wait for Joe to sit down so he can stand up again.
I'm not going to sit down.
Yeah, welcome to the Thursday, June 6th, 2019 Selectmen's Meeting. We all stand and say pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so it looks like the first thing on our agenda is Kevin, yeah, Police Building Study Committee Chair.
Good evening.
Come on up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for putting me on the agenda first. I appreciate that. So does my family. Just want to take the opportunity to really pop in and let you know where we're at. We've decided it's time to roll up our sleeves, and now it's work time. You know, we've had a lot of good success through the last 20 months or so. We are now meeting every other week. We will be meeting this Monday, and then we will be meeting again on the 24th. We do have a full agenda this coming Monday, and we're starting to have folks come in. This week is New Hampshire Homeland Security, just to see where we stand as far as grants. So we want to make sure we have all of those things in a row. At the same time, our architect, Gary Goudreau, will be coming in at that same meeting and having further discussions with him. We're scheduling tours. We were supposed to tour all this week, just due to conflicts, that did not happen. So we're hoping we have about 5 tours that we'd like to get into different buildings throughout the state and see what's happening there. And really the main thing is to open up an even more broad line of communication if there's anything that you need from us. Obviously, Pat is the liaison to the selectmen, but if there's something that you need from the committee, you know, please ask. You know, if there's clarification, we want to make sure that it's seamless between our committee and the selectmen. So I apologize for not being able to be here a couple of weeks ago, but I had a family event that had come up. So try to be here as much as you need us. I think we had talked about trying to get in every selectmen's meeting, or if there was something to report.
It's really up to the selectmen. I don't think you want to see them every week.
No, you know, if something's going on, I think just let us know, or if we have some questions, we'll
Sure.
send them out to you.
Or Pat could.
Well, I think they should come in at least once a month.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
at least
So-
once a
and
month.
that's exactly why I'm here, is to see what you want for a report from us. It's, I think it's a pretty clear prediction that it's going to get busier than ever with our committee and the work that we have to do. The biggest thing that we are trying to nail down in the next few weeks is a timeline. So we have a rough timeline built out right now. Jeannie and I sat with Tim the other day to talk about when the numbers need to be in for the budget committee, so that was good to really pin it down. And we need to get back to our architect for, you know, the construction side of things and where that timeline needs to fall also. So other than that, I think we just open line of communication, and if it's something that you need from us, we're hoping that we're as successful as this year as we were throughout last year. That had a really good vibe to it for us throughout the whole process, and then certainly at the town meeting when we went to buy the property. So, thank you.
We discussed adjusting the lot line. I think you got that information.
We did.
So, good.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. I'm sure there'll be
Extra
other...
30 feet, why waste the space? You can't get it back.
No, thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I think in the end, however this is going to go, that right there will make a huge
Flexibility.
difference for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're at a huge advantage with that particular piece of property. So, if you have nothing else for me, certainly.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks.
that. Did we hit all our checkpoints? Jeannie's done a great job keeping us and me in line. So.
I have great faith in the people that are tasked with this project, and I can't wait to see what you come back with.
Thank you. can't wait. So everyone's anxious.
All right.
So thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Kevin.
Have a great night.
The next thing we have is town clerk tax collector Cindy Reinhardt's on tax speeding, and that's supposed to be non-public. Is there anything public beforehand or afterhand also as well? Okay, so, let's see.
See,
See, that's what I was figuring out. So I'm going to make a motion that we go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3, paragraph 2C, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the body or agency itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to an application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. And roll call vote.
Second.
Yep, second.
Constantino, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Fogg, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
Scanlon, yes.
And we are red is on. This time I'd like to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to, what do they pertain to, John?
C,
Meeting.
Reputation.
eating,
Reputation?
reputation,
That might tend to damage or harm an individual's reputation permanently.
Second.
okay, we motion in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. And we'll make a motion that we seal those minutes permanently, right? Yeah.
I think that's what I
Oh,
said. Permanent.
another one, yeah.
That's all right, John. So we're good.
We're good.
All right.
Okay, so we got the minutes of the meeting. I guess step out for a minute.
Okay.
Why don't you go over, Joe?
Jumping into the gap, let's talk about the minutes for approval. Bring the meeting minutes of Thursday, May 16th to the floor for discussion. Yeah, I've never seen, under Peabody Street resident concern, the gentleman that came here, I'm seeing his name spelled out. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'd never seen it before.
Yep. No, I had, his son went to Ennisquam.
Alrighty.
Who's that?
Boot house.
Yep.
Third of the way down on the second page is a non-public session, and they were, minutes were never sealed. There's no mention of it. And I don't know if the minutes were ever sealed, but they should make a mention of that as well.
But they weren't sealed.
No,
they
they
weren't.
weren't sealed.
And he's just saying they should make mention that they weren't
The
sealed.
minutes were of the non-public session were
Need to
not
mention
sealed.
it.
Well, that's the only time I've ever seen a public, non-public session that we had that we didn't seal the minutes. Me personally.
We
need to
sealed them
mention it.
until the matter was resolved. But we've also had occasions we've gone into non-public where we really didn't need to.
Right.
But we always sealed the minutes or made some mention of it. That's all. Okay? If we're legal, I'm good.
On the second page under Selectmen's report, Selectman Dawson Park commissioners met. Do the selectmen want to handle the island moot point, no deed yet? I appreciate trying to save space, but I think we should put a little bit more information there.
Our commissioners met, comma, do the selectmen want them to handle the island?
Well, I think it's,
The selectmen responded, we do not own the island
Since-
yet.
How about
When we
since,
do, we will revisit.
since we don't,
I thought the park commissioners wanted to know, or would like to know if the selectmen want them to handle the island. And it's not handle the island, it's take care of the island, added to our
Take
responsibility.
responsibility for the upkeep and maintenance and what have you.
Moot point can
AKA
be crossed
handling.
out, and then just a sentence that says the deed hasn't been transferred.
okay, can I have one person and I can write it down and get it right?
Park commissioners would like
Would
to
like-
know if the selectmen want them to,
Okay,
would like them to handle the island,
manage,
or
you didn't
manage
like,
the island.
manage the island. Okay,
And then just a sentence, no, comma, the deed hasn't been transferred yet.
Top of page 3, for my own information, I brought up the abandoned Riverfront Park on the night of the fireworks. I have yet to get to the parks commissioners, and this is just prodded me to remember the entire thing. What do I got to do
They're
to
meeting-
get permission for this? Because the time is getting
They meet Monday night.
Monday night. Let me put this.
We have a vice chair down there. No, you're not the vice chair. Billy's the vice chair. Bob Hardy's the chair. On the bottom of the second page, sump pump discussion. The language that I suggested to be added, and I apologize, it's up on my desk, also included gray water. It wasn't just sump pumping into the streets.
prevent sump pumping and gray water.
Mhm.
Okay,
I mean, I can
Gray water on the streets.
give you that paper, but I don't have it right here.
Or something like that.
just give it to me and we'll get it right. Give it to me and we'll get it right later.
It's there.
Okay.
What time does the parks commission? 6?
6.
Are we
If you just get a hold of Bob Hardy. Yeah.
Yeah.
On page 3 of 3, when we go into the Police Building Study Committee, it says, Police Building Study Committee met with the architect Gary Goodrow and will plan to tour other facilities with him. Mr. Goodrow is planning to attend next week's Selectmen's meeting to discuss clerk of works, construction manager, or general contractor. Jeannie explained Mr. Goodrow is coming to speak of different options to get numbers for town meeting warrant and talk about the topography. That, to me, does not sound correct. That sentence. What are the different options that you were talking about? And the numbers for town meeting warrant?
So, in the paragraph prior,
Yeah,
the different options, clerk of the works, construction manager,
right.
or general contractor, to get numbers so that any one of those options they would provide the numbers that you'd need.
So would it be better to say that Mr. Goodrow is coming to speak of the different,
I don't,
explain the difference in the clerk of works, construction manager, or general contract,
I
and
guess,
various numbers for the town?
I think the sentence isn't even needed
Okay,
because it's explained
I agree with you.
in the prior.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Okay, I'll take it out.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of Thursday, May 16th as rewritten.
Second.
In the motion and the second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. Next minutes we have are for minutes 5:23.
I don't know. I can look. Okay. I just told me you wanted to be at Monday night's meeting. Perfect.
Right in the top of the present, under others, the
Eric.
ERIC.
Yeah, I corrected that, Eric.
Top of page 2, under Police Building Study Committee, last sentence should be its own paragraph.
Yes, I agree. Not that you were looking for my agreement, but
It helps. I come from the math side, not the ELA, so.
Just a grammatical error on page 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Selectman Dawson, Catherine reported a resident concern about apostrophe S. Residents' concern of the speed limit.
okay. Can I suggest a change?
Yes.
So under my report, sonogram, it says for Academy Street to check voids under the road instead of
Instead of
pockets.
pockets, great catch, yeah.
Page 4 at the top, water discharge ordinance. Rest of the conversation. There was a brief discussion of an issue with water and sewer lines on Cedar Street. It was confirmed that one cannot dump sump pump water into the sewer catch basin. That is true.
Well,
But I'm-
no, because it's sewer manholes, catch basins are your drainage,
Yeah.
Right.
so it's your semantics.
So if you remove catch basin.
You want me to
Where are you?
remove
Catherine,
Top of 4.
top of 4.
last two sentences, or last two lines?
Well, it's a little bit redundant, but
You can't pump into a sewer manhole or sewer line or a drainage catch basin.
I think he does allow them to sump pump into catch basins. But you definitely can, I would just take off catch basin.
Okay.
I'm just concerned because it's added on to this ordinance that people will think that that was what we approved, but it isn't. That's just a fact that's stated.
On page 404, where it says Pat Constantine voiced her disappointment, this is not a correction, but however, somebody called me and said that there were actually 3 people present that are still alive today that were present during that 50th burying the 50 years ago capsule. I was not aware of that. I was just aware of 2, but I have no idea how to find out if that's true or not. I will give you, Jeannie, the names if you want.
You know, just reading that, it sounds like you were blaming the people, sort of.
No.
I'm really disappointed that those people didn't come. Like it's their fault, they weren't invited.
I mean,
No, that's, I think, what she was saying.
Yeah, well, I think you're right, but that's not what this says.
well, one person was asked and declined, and the other person they didn't know was a part of it.
Just take out the between the and 2. Voice of disappointment that 2, and put an of, that 2 of the people who buried the time capsule were not present today.
Yeah, that
All
would
was dug out.
makes it easier. Yeah, no, that was just
And we have been trying to find
no
out.
blame anywhere here.
We've been trying to find out who else was there, and I think Carol Stone is probably the person to contact.
Carol, Bonnie, and Dick Mayer.
So there were only 3?
Yeah,
There were no selectmen there?
I don't know.
Still alive?
These are the ones that are still alive.
I don't know.
There may
You were
be,
selected.
there may have been
Yeah.
others
I
there.
bet.
There may have
Carol
been others
Stone.
there, but I don't know.
So you've got Bonnie and Carol and Dick?
Yep. And I've heard that from like 4 different people, including Dick.
Well, in that case, I make a motion to accept the minutes of Thursday, May 23rd, 2019, as corrected, as amended.
Second.
So,
Yeah.
any other discussion on
This
it?
is shred.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay. Next thing we have on our agenda is the review of the meeting procedures and standards of conduct. I think everybody got the email out there with a copy of it.
I forgot my printed one, but I read it.
Didn't close it.
What was the purpose of this document being done? Refresh my memory.
Wow, so long ago.
Consistency.
We
Yep.
did bring up that there was, how the process worked and that different departments are doing different ways and that we'd always done it that way. Came up with one of the roadblocks we ran into there. So,
Yeah, it was, I think, part of it was to provide some direction and clarification on process to people who are taking minutes, running meetings. I think we had some new people become secretaries to different committees that didn't know the process, didn't understand the process. And so this document was put together for that purpose.
so it was getting rid of the tribal knowledge and putting it down to,
Yeah, it's part of what I've talked to you before about, which we have the intern working on, is this whole idea of standard processes that are in place, and people can read it and understand how things are supposed to be done. Anyone have any changes, thoughts, concerns? You were just
No,
waiting for that question, weren't you?
You know, to be honest, I was hoping to get to you beforehand to save time tonight, but health officer stuff was just too much today.
Let me see what you got there. Is it worth talking to her first and taking this up next week? Let me see.
I'm thinking that's an hour. I'm just thinking,
I'll do whatever you want.
I'll do whatever you want to do. I've got nowhere to go. I'm lying. I could be outside,
Okay, I don't mind.
working on my motorcycle. Bike week's coming, you know, Catherine.
I'm gonna come down and stay with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I won't. I'll be able to sleep at night. Might as well just.
Yeah, good luck. I think I'm screaming up Silver Lake
Oh, did
Road
they?
out of Belmont.
I'm fine if you want. I mean, it will take some time, but if you'd rather, I will find time next week to get with Jeannie and
Do you want to do that?
save us time
Or if you
tonight.
guys,
You might?
and then,
Whatever the pleasure of the board is
Yeah.
fine with me.
Is it urgent that we get this done, or is that what you
No,
wanna
it's
do?
not, but there are a lot of things. It's like the employee handbook. We have to start pushing forward on these. Now, you may decide you don't want this at all. That was the
I think it's
direction I
very
got
well written by
before.
myself, but
But if we don't start working on these things, we'll never get anything done.
so if we decide that we'll make a decision on this next week, if
what's on the agenda
Everything
next
lines
week?
up.
Is it heavy, or?
Next week is, you've got the folks coming in. There was a petition, which is in your FYI folder. There's folks coming in to talk about having, they want a speed bump, they want a speed limit sign, and they want, there were three things. It was in
The
my
sash lot?
ash lot, and the chief was going to come in and speak about that.
We already agreed to give them one down there.
No, the chief said he'd go down and take a look at the speeding problem.
That they came in to us.
Not Ashelot.
Dublin, yeah,
The-
Dublin and Ashelot, they did.
I don't even call them getting approved for putting one in, it was the chief was going to
We
go and
asked the
start.
chief to go down, and if it was necessary that we said yes, we would do it.
Oh,
So
yeah, they didn't, I don't think they came in, did they?
No,
there were,
I brought it up to
there
the
was like
chief.
6 or 7 different people here that said Dublin and Ashland. It was, they were here for some other reason and brought it up.
Come flying out of Dublin onto Asherlock.
They do.
So
That's okay, so, all right, so
That's,
if I
that's,
get with you Tuesday,
yep,
I don't have so many inspections Tuesday as I did this week. So I can get with you Tuesday, right after that.
all right.
It won't take us long to go over this, and then you can send it out.
And if anybody else has anything at all, put the
Or it
comments
actually
in there.
could go over,
So,
Now we're
just so you know, so we do have that on the agenda, but as we move forward, my intent is to start, there was a desire to update policies and procedures, so I'm going to start bringing that forward. So we're going to have work sessions at the selectmen's meeting,
Okay.
so.
our own employee
So
policy is a mess.
do you want them to come in next week and show us something that we're really all in favor of, or do you want the chief to go out and look at it and then let the people at
The chief was
Ashland?
supposed to go look at
Yeah,
it.
he was supposed to
And
be
he,
down there.
and he did, and he will come in next week when they come in.
Okay.
It just
I mean,
seems,
they can come in,
But
but
it-
if the
but it-
chief says, yes, 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 we should,
it just seems unnecessary to have them come in to just sit here and to tell us that we all agree with them.
but we're assuming that the chief is gonna say yes. What if he says no, he doesn't think it's necessary?
Could we make the decision, if the chief says yes, then we'll go ahead and notify the people and decide on it?
Chief ever said no.
Exactly.
10 years. Could you please tell me one time? Please, just once. Rest my case. But I know that this has been a huge issue in that area, and it's been brought up. The chief's gonna go out there and look at it. Hey, I mean, seriously, I probably got my paycheck on it. That
You can control the input, but I think they probably have organized this.
I think they'd be very happy with
They wanna
the
come in.
outcome, and we could save them all the trip coming in on a Thursday evening, and
But
everybody would be happy.
The one thing we also have to consider is that we could end up with speed bumps in many, many places throughout the town because somebody can't say no, or everybody, well, they've got one, they've got one. I can tell you that on Morrison Ave,
Yeah.
cars go very fast, and I would like to have 2 speed bumps in there, and I could get all my neighbors.
Yeah.
And you
So-
should have the input of the public works director if we're gonna start putting out more speed bumps.
Yes.
Because he's the one that's gonna put them out there.
In
and take 'em out.
hindsight, it might be a good idea to go ahead and,
So,
A stop sign on Dublin Drive just makes common sense to me.
I'm
could
just,
we have the
wait,
public
Joe.
works director weigh in on that? So-
I'm
Dublin's
writing
He's
the
not
it
second
scheduled to
one
be
in.
next week,
No,
right?
but
Right,
I'll-
so-
No, Dublin
I'm
is the
writing it
little,
down.
the little street
Say
that
it
shoots
true.
off
Well,
of Ashland.
then if we don't have the information from the public works
It
director,
goes down to our
and we
pump
don't have
station.
the information from the
The
chief,
Walkers live on Dublin.
right?
I'm pretty sure.
okay.
We at least
Okay,
postpone it
first
for a
we're talking about the procedures and whether or not we'll fit in. So
You're
it
not
sounds
gonna
like,
know that until you figure this out.
You'll have the procedures to look at and review
so we'll look at the
before
procedures
Thursday.
next week and decide on it next week. And
So yes, that will be part of next week's meeting, is to approve the procedures after. And what I'll do is, if that makes sense, is put it in a edit mode so you can see what Catherine's additions were, so you'll get that, and then we can go through it. Does that make sense?
okay.
She won't like that. Are you gonna do it in Google instead of Microsoft?
Google is all I'm allowed on per Tim.
Poor
It works
Catherine.
good.
We bought that for Joyce and she got Word doc. Just so you know,
Oh,
we did.
listen, I came from a Microsoft Word
I,
world.
if you want Microsoft Word, we'll get you Microsoft Word.
So have
I
I,
bought
but,
that.
so have I, but I'm adapting only because of the accessibility.
I'm
You
a
don't have to have a
Microsoft
thumb
Word
drive.
family.
So that would work.
With
I
Monopoly.
think that would work
I will do
if you
that.
can
Wait, with
work together
Monopoly?
and get that out there, and then we can have a
Microsoft
preview.
wasn't a monopoly.
And then we'll bring up all the changes in that at the meeting, so that would be a public.
Perfect. All right. That takes care of the meeting procedures. Now, you have agreed, I think, to say you want the folks to still come in and have Kevin weigh in, and the chief will be here as well,
Yes,
for the folks at Ashland and Dublin. All right, good.
to go through the same procedure with everybody.
All right.
Which is a speed bump.
That's ridiculous. I would push it out a week so that you can get the chief's information first and the public works information so that they at least can have something to say about it. But they don't have a chance to say anything about it because you're gonna invite them, you know,
Find out.
and then you're gonna have to wait another week to get back to the people at Dublin.
So either way, it would be the second.
Right.
We'd have a meeting to discuss it next week, and then the following week, we'd make a decision whether,
But you're bringing in people and you're not gonna give them an answer. Bring them in the next week so that you have an answer.
I'd like to hear from the people and see what the problem is.
And just for your information, they were the ones who asked to come in.
I get that.
Okay,
But if we have information from the chief and the public works director that they will have more information, and then they can be more germane with their arguments.
Right, they
If
go
the
away
chief
with
says no
answers.
way, then they'll have to come up with another plan.
I think they should be allowed to come in. They want to come in. We can.
I have no
We
problem, but
can
it.
control their.
I have absolutely no problem
We're
with
trying
them
to-
coming in. I want them to come in at a time
Once.
where they're gonna get the most answers.
They want to be part of the discussion or listen to the discussion. I think they should, whether we're ready for them or not. Okay.
I'm a minority here, so it doesn't matter.
All right, make them come twice.
I think they want to. I think they have ownership.
Good.
Well, all I was
So
looking for
the
was good
next
information.
thing-
I wasn't deciding. if
That
we
half of the
can.
room is decided, Peter. Let them just go
Tom?
with it.
What the hell are you talking about?
Town administrators
I never opened my
report.
mouth.
Joe hasn't had an opinion on it.
Town Administrator's Report. Taxpayer wants to donate a small waterfront access lot on Silver Lake. You've got that in front of, on my report. Wants to know, well, you see his value doubled. Well, not quite doubled. He thought the town might be interested in using it for a hydrant or for fire trucks to get water. Are you interested in accepting this donation?
Where is it?
Which,
21 lot 27.
Okay, but where is
it's
that?
prob,
Do we have a tax card?
Yep, I do.
It's not one that has beach rights to properties, is it?
I think I know which one it is.
I'm thinking it's one of the beach rights that's the swamp right on the point.
Either that or the
Oh, this
place
isn't
where they
gonna
let
tell
off
me.
the fireworks.
What are you looking, do we have a tax map?
Oh, I see. No, I'm sure we do.
Is
but-
there one up there?
Yeah, this says nothing.
We used to have one, we kept it at the selectmen's table. Used to.
R21, lot 27.
10-foot waterfront.
I didn't bring my computer.
Is that an ash lot?
Is there an
Huh?
address for it?
No. Is it? Oh, so, yeah, it is Silver Lake Road.
Silver Lake Road.
Is that the property for access to the island?
That's what I'm wondering.
That's
There's no way.
with the garage?
It's 10
Somebody
foot,
for us.
it's 10
How
foot
wide is
water,
that?
10
Wider
foot
than-
waterfront,
It's one
.01
lane.
acres.
Might be 10 feet across, but how could they sell the access to the island?
That's,
Like part of the deed, they're trying to split the
But
deed.
that would be the only place, wouldn't it? On Silver Lake Road. Because there's mine, and then there's Pete Spears, and then there's,
Got it?
So what is the lot number?
21, map 21, R21, lot 27.
so there's a couple of guys over there on the
27?
corner of
Yes,
Ashland.
27.
There's 29. Oh, it is.
So they probably want to donate it, but still
Noise-
allow
it's down
public
Noise
access
Road.
to it.
It's down
This
Noise
is on
Road.
your neighborhood, Peter.
This is Noise
No,
Road.
that's not, that's Noise Road, that's off of Wolf Road.
This is the
Well,
lot
that's
the
on
town
his side.
owns.
This is Silver Lake Road down here, right?
Ash lot's over here.
Yeah. So it's on the other side of the lake.
This is Noise
That's where
Road.
U-Haul is, across the
This
street.
is, yep, U-Haul,
Yeah.
and it's the golf course.
It's on the other side of the lake from Silver
Oh,
Lake
this
Road.
is where, this is where used to.
So it can't be the island access.
Well, it's the next one next to it. So it does have beach rights.
Yeah, it's right on the water.
All right,
Well, you
Town
gotta-
Beach.
well, you gotta see if, are there any other, you know, it's like in my neighborhood, there's 2 or 3 different common beach areas to different properties.
Right, there's 4 of them right
Wouldn't you
there.
want to take a walk down and look at it?
Yeah, because
Definitely.
there's like 4 or 5 of them right there.
Well, how are they gonna, how do you donate something that you've already given rights away to?
So we'd have to look at deeds and stuff like
Because
that.
they would still have their rights. I don't think you could lose those, right?
If they deed
If
this
they-
to us and there are rights in there to others, they would stay with the deed. So,
Yeah.
yes.
See?
Right.
So in other words, if there were rights in common for other residents or properties, they
Okay.
would keep them.
So,
Boat
See where it
access or
is
beach
on Noise?
rights or any of that
See all those
stuff.
little ones?
So-
We're 27, it's 27.
The best thing for us to do is to get a copy of the deed or have them supply it a deed, us to go down, take a look at it.
Gotta go take
Do
it
that.
was diced up so many.
So if
I
we can
forgot. I remember now.
get some more of that information out,
Okay,
There you go.
it's not off the table.
okay,
It's not on the table, really.
okay.
It's-
I'll get more information. I'll get a copy of the deed. All right,
You might have to look back in those deeds to find any other rights.
okay.
Sometimes it doesn't come forward.
Yeah.
Sheena was trying to get some information and discovered that the E911 needed to be updated. So it was Dari and Joyce, and I'm recommending it be me and Sheena as primary and secondary respectively.
moved.
Second.
Second.
And there's only one signature line.
Aye.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to subrogate our
Unanimous.
authority of the chair to sign this document.
Second.
Aye.
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 All right.
That one from you must be.
So last week, we talked about sidewalk, crosswalk designs, and you asked folks to give input. You asked me to take a look around and come back with a recommendation. So I found two ideas for crosswalks that I think in the future, if you wanted to have something different for a crosswalk, they would be work. They evoke the river, which is, I think, kind of, unique to Tilton. So I'm just going to pass those out. You can take a look at them. This is not what I'm recommending for tonight. For tonight, what I'm recommending is this. I'm going to show it to you and then pass it around. So here's the design. It's basically, this is a crosswalk. They have 2 stripes down either side.
MUTCD.
We didn't see the whole thing.
2 stripes down either side, white space in the middle, or you could reverse it. These could be the white stripes with the reflective that you were looking for, and the inside could be a color. That's what Kevin would paint on the 6 crosswalks. And then the idea would be at the probably 2 feet on either side of the crosswalk, so the person walking into the crosswalk that would be faced with this, it would have this little banner that says, Tilton celebrates 150 years, and we would have balloons painted. So that's what I'm recommending
I like it myself.
The one that's coming up is the one you recommend.
for
The balloon
150th. Yes.
Well, they go together.
For the 1 year, yes. They go
Which one
together.
goes together? This one?
The balloons would be painted on this
Yep.
instead of the normal thing.
Got it.
That would be the balloons and Tilton 150th on either end.
You turn them into tulips.
There you go.
MUTCD is my question.
What's MU?
So if we do the
It's
retrospective
municipal
paint on the
traffic,
outside,
it's like that 3D, they don't accept. There's things they accept, things they don't.
Oh,
it's the manual of uniform traffic control devices.
Yep.
The federal government state uses, but
so we have to do whatever is,
Well, to me, unless
They
you want
require the white
to create some
special
liability,
reflective.
we want to follow their requirements because they're telling you what a crosswalk should be.
So we submit that, see what they say.
Well, I mean,
Or have we?
who are we submitting it to?
Bill Lambert.
No, you just look up
no,
the
we don't
reg, you
just submit
just,
it to anybody.
no, you look under
It's
the
a
MU.
guideline.
Okay.
So they asked for white retroreflective, that was from 2009, they
Yep.
said, they changed it. And that's what needs to be on the outside.
Yep.
But we can, that's easy to pull up.
Okay.
You might, the white in the middle might save you with the other colors. That's why I checked the manual and it is online.
I say go forth and create.
I think it's great. Who's the artist that's going to do
It
that?
was
Are you
Jeannie's
gonna go
idea,
there?
she's not gonna
It's
tell you.
squished by the cars going by when
Each
you're out there.
selectman get to come out and paint a balloon.
Nice.
Peter,
I want
Any
purple.
color I want?
any color you
Yeah.
want. Not black.
Other than
I
black.
say black balloon.
Oh wait,
Come on,
that's
everybody.
the, in art, that's the present of all colors.
I know.
Boy, do they have any darker colors?
Really, really black.
I've talked to Sheena and she will be involved in it, so we'll get folks to
She's
come
quite
out.
an artist.
But my thought is,
The template.
if you agreed with this, that we could get the crosswalk down right away, the major part of it, and then, with the color across and then the stripes on either side, and then we could do the painting of the balloons on either side
Yep.
after that's done. So at least those crosswalks are in place now. So
Yes.
he could do that pretty easily, pretty quickly.
I just hope people look up when they're crossing the street.
Look out.
You gotta make the crosswalk so
that.
full, they'll be looking down when they cross.
Speaking of which, we haven't put the signs up in the middle of the road yet, correct? At the
Yes.
crosswalks?
There was a discussion about that today. They're looking for the stands.
Okay.
So they're on top of it. They're trying to find them.
That's why they can't find them.
Because they're on top of it.
That was pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The other issue on my action item is the Town of Tilton Master Plan. Next week, I'm going to start writing the grant for the Plan New Hampshire charrette. And I would ask all of you, I've made copies of this vision statement that came out of the master plan. I've read it. I'd ask you to take a look at it and tell me if you agree with it. It's going to help inform me when I write the grant to make
Which master plan did this come out of?
the one that's been sitting on the shelf.
The 98?
Yeah, because nothing else has been approved.
Okay.
And I just took the vision statement.
I don't know if we have, the planning board created a committee, which I was on, to update the master plan. And we were in the process of just correcting the information. So, let's say, for example, they hadn't talked about, any development at exit 20. Well, we were correcting that kind of thing. Statistical errors. And I'm pretty sure we got past this. But did you read it for
I did read
mistakes?
it. Oh, mistakes? Well, I haven't read the master plan yet, so.
No, I meant just these pages.
Oh, you mean typos?
No, for incorrect information because we've already done it.
Oh, I don't think I would know that, Catherine, would I?
So it
Before your
says,
time.
these should include such facilities as a town beach or public swimming pool,
Right.
boating and fishing facilities. So we've done the fishing facilities, and we've done the parks, and we've done the athletic field. But maybe in this, that's okay to leave it.
And I guess what I'm looking for is just the general idea of, one of the things I'm going to ask the Plan New Hampshire folks to do is to look at the master plan.
So this is beyond the 98, because this is referring to, in 2007, the town adopted a program.
In 2008, Sandy Plessner and I, 2009 maybe, Sandy Plessner and I were working on a master plan. So we were working on it back then. I don't think anything came of it at
No.
that point.
Nothing's been approved since the 98,
No.
or 94. Oh, I keep
I'll
calling
talk
it
to
98.
Sandy and see if she has any of that paperwork.
But it wasn't approved.
Well,
But
just what we had at that point. I hear you, that wasn't approved, I know that.
Just to be clear, I'm not looking for, I think the master plan, you've got some work to do on it, but what I'm looking for from you is generally, do you, as a vision, do you all still agree with that as I write
Absolutely.
the charrette? Yes.
Yes.
So if you just want to take a look
Take
at
a
it,
look
and I'll
at
come
this.
back to you next
Anything that-
Thursday and say, yes, no, no, we hate this, I don't want that.
So my question to you is, does it matter for what you're going to use this for?
Well, it does to some extent, because I'm going to draw language as I write the grant.
From this vision.
And there's certain aspects of zoning that are reliant on a up-to-date master plan.
Everything in planning and zoning. Master plan.
Correct. And our approved master plan is from 1998.
For instance, this is something I was surprised to read in your plan about the sprinkler system. Just from my past experience in the legislature and hearing all the testimony on sprinkler systems and the cost that it puts on the homeowner to have a sprinkler system, I was surprised that because it sounds like that's what you want.
No, that was part of the document that was never approved.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a copy of the 94?
No.
Do they still have that in Northfield? New construction? They did.
You have a capital improvement program. Is that something you still want? I don't think you have it, do you?
Not. Well, no, that's not true. Impact fees are what we want and we don't have.
Well, it's a little late for those.
Just because the door is ajar, that doesn't mean that you can't close it down.
I don't want to start writing the charrette, the application, and then have you all say, well, I don't like that. I just want to be on the same page as you are.
I have left my stuff in it because that's where we were working.
That's the one that's currently under construction, right?
No, that's the one
Ah,
that is adopted. That's the one we're working on to update. Or we were working on. I'm no longer working on.
That's the information that we were talking about right now. You're gonna give me the information that you've done.
So if you'll just look at that and let me know next week. So in your to be signed folder, there is a license plate grant application. This is the one that Kathy and Chuck Mitchell came to you for. I believe it's only got one signature line. And Chuck has asked if you could sign that so they could get it delivered.
I think it's in the black hole down there.
Go scribble into all these.
You also have in your folders, you should have a copy of the geotechnical investigation that was done under Gary Goodrow. For those of you who didn't know, Jacob, our intern, started this week. He started on Monday. He's been doing a great job. He's in the process of putting together an organizational chart that I'll want you all to take a look at. He's putting together a questionnaire that he will interview the different departments so we can put together the standard operating procedures so that everybody's getting asked the same questions. And so seems to be fitting in very well. And talk to you about the master plan. John, you asked for an update on the 150th committee.
Yeah.
So the summer fair is the first event that's coming up on 6/22. We met yesterday working on getting some more promotion out there and increasing the number of vendors for this event. We have, I think, 8 vendors, I think 3 food vendors, 5 crafts vendors. We just today were able to get Remax Bayside the hot air balloon ride for free. So they're coming tomorrow. Catherine's going to come with me to look at spaces where we might be able to launch the hot air balloon. So that'll be a nice way to get people into downtown Tilton.
Where is that?
What's that?
Where is that going to be?
That's what they're gonna figure out.
Yeah, we're going to try to figure that out. We have to have a space that's going to accommodate a hot air balloon. So.
Wadley's.
I'm thinking.
Well, we wanted to have it within walking distance of Main Street.
Well, it's either
Because that's where the
Riverfront
event-
Park
High school.
for that ball field.
Yeah.
We were thinking of, I mentioned, I gotta stop calling it Martin Meadows.
Salmon.
Salmon Run,
Ernie's.
There's enough room there?
the parking lot side.
For hot air balloon?
I don't know if it's big enough.
There's no place for it to collapse.
Well,
You have to be able to collapse the
yeah.
balloon.
And the guy from Remax Bayside who does this is coming tomorrow to look at the
Take a look around.
spaces to tell us if this will work or
Even the
not.
school. I'm
We were looking
sure.
at the state school
Yeah.
property. There's the high school that's
Tilton
kind of within
School.
walking distance.
The base of the sledding hill by
And
the
I,
post
and I
office.
did reach out to Rachel and she said they would be willing to accommodate that. So we're going to look at several places tomorrow, figure out which one's the best one.
Yay.
So on June 29th is the Old Home Day Parade, and I learned that it is not Joe Justman's birthday on that day.
I said I was celebrating my birthday. We're all celebrating birthdays.
The committee have come up with a float, which I think is pretty neat. Catherine, if you want to pass that down, float for the parade for that day.
I like it.
The time capsule event is scheduled for June 30th at Riverfront Park. That's going to be opening of the old time capsule and burying of the new time capsule. And I'm sure
June 30th.
June 30th is a Sunday. And I'm sure you've all seen that big granite marker that's inside the door.
Yeah.
2 regattas on July 27th. The ornaments are in process and should be ready soon for sales. The historical marker is due in August, and we are still trying to get banners. We haven't quite given up, but so far no success.
I have a question. So did we find any of those poles that we can use?
They're all co-owned, and so Eversource, that's
Until,
according to Eversource, every single one is co-owned with Consolidated.
Can we put them on their half of the pole?
Just put them in the lower half.
I will tell you this, going through the town of Guilford, there was one road that is the entire poles, every single one of them have flag poles on them, brand new flag poles attached to them. And they are co-owned, each and every one of them.
By
The
Consolidated?
entire road, Consolidated in Eversource.
Guilford must have a different insurance company,
Yeah, they must have
Or
bought the $2
they just
million.
did it on their own.
or they could have done it on their own.
Just did it.
They could have done that.
And you know, these people are in Illinois, right? How would they know?
You just told them.
Yeah.
You were just kidding.
April Fools.
So should I be the only signer on this then?
Yes.
For the state library? Okay.
Yeah, yes. And then just one other issue that if you want to talk about would probably be a non-public. That was an email that I think went out yesterday or the day before about the planning, the land use coordinator planning position.
I didn't see it.
I have a copy.
Nice.
But if you want to have that discussion and you want to do it, we could do it after the selectmen's reports.
That's it for signing?
And that's all I have unless anyone has questions for me.
I have a question on an FYI on yours.
Okay.
So the stipend policy for the Conservation Commission,
Yes.
it's more than just
I
this.
think so.
It's been recited to me. They have a plan, how many meetings someone has to attend. You know, in other words, if you attend this many meetings, you get a stipend. If you don't attend these meetings, you don't get a stipend. So there's much more to it than just they pay both their alternates and the members.
Okay. Well, I specifically had the conversation with him, and what I told you is what I was told.
Yeah.
And it is, okay, well, it is one of the things that we will want to talk with you about when we get to the point of the wage and salary workshop that Tim and I went to about stipend policy. Because there was a discussion during that workshop about when you change the amount that somebody gets based on the number of meetings they attend.
Oh, good. That'll be interesting. We're not consistent with all of our committees on how
And that's one of the-
done.
and-
That's a problem.
Right, and that's one of the things that we need to work on. Policies and procedures.
Okay,
But that's what he gave me.
okay.
And if you like, I'm happy to go back and say, I understand there's more. Could you give me more?
That would be great.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Still only getting half of that conversation down there.
So, I've been asked here and there for a few years about finding out how the Conservation Commission deals with their stipends and their members. In other words, at what point do members get a stipend and at what point don't they? So how many meetings can they miss? Do you understand what I'm
Yep.
saying?
I-
Kind
I-
of gibberish. And
Right.
the Conservation Commission, so for their alternates, and I don't know how many alternates they have, that's another question, because not all committees have the same number of alternates. They like to pay stipends to their alternates. Of course, that's not their decision, but that's what they would like to do. And, if that alternate is attending every single meeting, then maybe we should consider that. But if you look on the back, the FYI information from Chuck, there's more information there, because I've had those conversations with him. I just, lately when I see him, forget to ask him.
Any other questions for me?
I'll wait my turn.
How is it that chain started? Who started that? And do we go right back down to the bottom of the second page in the original question?
So you're talking about the planning board and hiring,
That's correct.
that's this discussion.
I started with the chairman of the planning board.
I think that's a non,
Why?
Well, I have a conversation I'd like to have with the board that probably is definitely non-public, that's loosely related.
mm-hmm.
I think-
Without knowing, it's hard saying. I mean, I don't see anything that should be non-public
Well,
or not.
matters, okay, if you look at C, matters that discuss the reputation of a person other than member of the body itself, so other than us. So if we're going to discuss anything like that, that would be one thing.
Isn't she a representative of the town?
No.
But what she's not part of the body, meaning the Board of Selectmen.
Right.
Can I ask,
in the
Whatever
legal
you think is
position.
best.
are we on that subject or are we still on your reports?
I'm done with
Well,
my
asking
report
you-
and I ended
asking
and
you a
asked
question.
if anyone had a
This
question.
was, so what we were doing, in part of the report was a handout of this document. You saw that, right?
I did. I'm on to another subject other than that.
And so
I still
we
have
were
another
talking
question,
about,
Jeannie.
we were settling this out, that somebody said that we wanted to talk about this in non-public. So you want to hold off till after that and then do it?
Do it at the end. I'd
At
like
the
to
end?
hear Pat's question.
Okay, so,
Mine is a very simple question, and I'm not sure that you can answer it right away, but I just, I can't remember this because it's not in the agreement because they came in after the agreement, but I do see in the manifest that we are paying for non-police related shirts for dispatch. And in the union contract, it's for the stipends, the $200 stipends is for the officers. So I don't have my hands on any particular, and I can't remember, I'm sorry, if there's anything written in an agreement with the dispatches that we will provide uniforms for them.
Didn't we have
So
that?
it's a two-part, oh, go ahead.
Didn't we have that conversation before we went to this type of dispatch setup?
I vaguely remember that, so it
And
was
I don't
kind of like
think
a
we-
two,
yeah.
and I think we didn't, but it's a two-part question. Number one is it part of the collective bargaining unit agreement, which I believe it's not, or did the chief just agree to say, hey, yeah, we'll do this? Because I want everybody looking great. So it's kind of a question.
Good question.
I'll find out.
Because,
I don't know, I'll find out.
Like that?
that was in my,
Just a question, it's not necessarily that I disagree or agree, either way, it's just a question in case I get answered.
Okay. I will find,
Asked, I mean.
I will find out.
Okay.
Any other questions for me?
We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
In Selectmen's reports, I got a couple of
Go ahead,
questions.
Pat. Please, start.
So, a couple of months ago, we had asked about getting estimates for the roof estimate, the snow stoppers, is that what they're called, snow stoppers? And I'm wondering where we're at with getting estimates for the roof stoppers, snow stoppers on the roof at the senior center, because we changed the parking venue. And once again, I'm asking when we are going to find the carpenter that initially did the work under the kitchen, when he's coming back up, because he said the end of April, and now it's and then the end of May. Now it's the end of June, and it's end of June's rapidly approaching, and I'm really afraid that if it gets to the end of July and the end of August, that we're going to lose out on monies that were granted to us by Lowe's to come in and give us a new floor, because our floor is all cracked and broken up, and I don't want to lose that
Right,
opportunity.
and I think we talked about this.
Mhm.
The contractor says he will be in by the end of June. And when we had this conversation, I expressed that if you'd like me to look to find somebody else, I don't know what kind of luck we'll have, but I'm happy to do that. But at this
I can't make
point,
that decision. It's not me, because the board hired them. It's the board's decision to, do that. I can't just say, oh, well, Plan B is that we get somebody else, because I don't know, number one, who else would do it, number
I got a
two,
question on that. Is this the same fellow who put it off for like
Put the-
6 months?
put the joists in, yeah.
He put it off for like 6 months last year?
Didn't he have an injury or something?
Injured.
Yeah, he was injured. Yeah, car accident, yeah.
I mean, we need to get the
I
work
didn't hire
done.
that guy, I was in the selectmen.
Yeah, but I would say if you can't get it done by the end of the month, we should find somebody else who can get it done.
okay.
If
That's
he
my-
can't come in.
This is
and-
work in progress now. He's done the work, he just needs to keep, what I understand, he just needs to keep jacking it up so that it eventually becomes level.
I don't see substantial progress coming from him. And I think when the first jacking of it was done in November. And then,
Why don't I call him tomorrow and just confirm that this is going to be completed by the end of the month?
It'd be hard pressed to find a carpenter in today's
Yes.
climate that's,
It's gonna do that kind of work, yeah,
especially working up
I-
to somebody's, because
right. You don't know what they've
I
done.
can tell you construction is slamming.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right,
anything else? Pat?
that's it for me.
Peter?
Couple things. This Saturday, June 8th, at the Route 132 ball field, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. will be knocker ball. Come one, come all. They will be set up for sizes, so we won't have a 300-pound person going against a 70-pound child. They do set it up well. Also,
That's the fun of watching it.
yeah. And then about 3 weeks later, June 22nd, this time at Riverfront Park from 11 to noon, is the wildlife encounters.
Is there a wind
Is there
day
what?
for it? A wind day for, I mean, they hold out wind or rain or shine? to
Knock
knock
the
it
ball.
off?
Pretty much. We haven't experienced yet, so I can't tell you if
You'd
it
be
is.
inside the ball, it's not like you'd be getting all that wet.
You won't, yeah, just from sweat.
How did they get you out of the ball? That's what I want to know.
You're sweaty enough, you slide right
So
out.
if anybody wants to know what knocker ball is, maybe you could explain it a little bit.
Knocker ball is this great big ball that you squeeze up into, and then you run across the field and bump into people and send them flying.
So
Knock them on their knocker ball.
Should be fun.
That's it, John.
It's your
Okay.
report.
Joe?
Just that June is Men's Health Month, and these rubber bands and blue, there's information, call Gail Bestick in the Selectmen's office here at Town Hall, because she has all the information, and she has little goodies and stuff that will help remind you to do things like take the stairs, eat healthy, don't drink so much, keep active, see your health provider, stop smoking. Hey, I'm an older guy, and I wanna be around for several more years, grandchildren and stuff, and I'm guessing some of you guys do too. So call Gail Bestick, and she'll hook you up with the information. The life you save could be yours. That's it.
Cool.
I don't know how you follow that.
So I have one that does need to be in non-public. I also should make you aware of a serious E. coli issue in Lockmere.
Yeah, please.
It's just a little runoff brook. Well, actually, it's probably making its way to Silver Lake at this point.
Rolls downhill, Kevin.
Well, sometimes it dissipates in the woods, but I gotta tell you, with all the wet, it's getting there. So I periodically, this is the brook I have through the years taken samples of, because there's always been an issue there. I was hoping that would be done with the changeover in Gaslight to sewer. Well, 2 weeks ago, I took a sample in the brook, very near the boundary of the Church Street property that it starts on, and the count was 2,909.
Oh my goodness.
Of what?
E. coli.
E. coli.
That's a nasty germ.
Notified both parks, notified the abutting property owner. Last week I took 2 more samples, one from the property owners on Church Street and one where the brook exits the culvert in White Rock. The count in White Rock was, my gosh, 800, I'm gonna say 880. So it from the 2,909 in a very short distance had dropped that dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
The count on the property on Church Street was over 8,000.
Right on the corner.
No, I didn't go. So
All right.
I walked to the back of that property. What happens is there's a hydrological study that was done when they found gas at the gas station in the wells. It shows a very shallow aquifer that comes down from Sandmerton headed towards the river. At some points, it's only 10 feet underground. That property in my lifetime has always been very wet in the back where it butts up against Gaslight Village. And you can still see that water trying to come through even though subsequent owners filled it in and tried to make a lawn there. When I went out to take that sample, there were puddles everywhere, deep puddles. And that's what I took a sample in, was a puddle. And you could see that it was all flowing towards, there used to be a giant puddle, but that was filled in, and then it would become the brook. That's where I took the sample, clearly on that property, probably, a good 40, maybe 50 feet from the boundary.
Have you checked on the other corner down at Silver Lake and River? All that water headed towards Silver Lake. And that wouldn't have anything to do with it?
No, because the count at the outlet of that culvert before it enters the woods was so low. That's telling me that it's that's going to dissipate as it gets further.
Yeah.
It used to enter what was once my property in that swamp area, and then it went into the lake. I have contacted DES. Well, actually, I had contacted them a while ago. But I contacted them again today after I got that and asked for assistance from subsurface. I've contacted all the property owners, Gaslight, White Rock, as property owner, and let them know. And I did make contact with Dubois and King, who had the project in Gaslight. Just have a conversation with him, because when they were doing that project, we did have a system in failure that butts up against that property. And I wanted his opinion on if he thought any way possible that could be affecting this. Was there some discharge underground? I mean, I don't know. I don't have a clue. why there would be a count that size. So I just wanted you to be aware.
You're following up on that, are you?
Oh, yeah. Well, and subsurface will send somebody out to assist. The other thing I should announce is that the 150th met on Wednesday, yesterday, and we decided that we should have an event, and it has to do with kissing a piglet,
To raise money.
to raise money.
Bring it.
I'll do it.
You
I'll
have
do it.
containers,
I'll be the piglet.
and you have people's names on it.
I won't do it.
You pile it full of money, and whoever has the most money gets to kiss the pig.
Oh, really?
We needed to nominate somebody, so we decided the chairman of the Board of Selectmen would be a good person.
I like it.
To kiss the pig, so we all have to pay money for John to kiss a pig?
Do
Yeah.
not tell my family. Would be disappointed.
How much do we have to pay to have him
Well,
kiss the pig?
whoever, they think usually there's 3 as it was
There's
described to
three.
me.
Yeah, so they talked about it being Chief Seatar,
Yeah.
Oh,
Chief
thanks,
Cormier,
Joe.
and the chair of the
Oh, that's the
selectmen.
bar stuff.
So it's either the chief, or John.
Right, and
Whoever
whoever
has
gets
the most money
money.
in their container.
So for instance, apparently this
Don't
was
have to
done
worry
a couple
about it.
years
They're all gonna
ago.
put it into Cormier's.
Yeah, and somebody paid like $200 or
That's too
$300
easy.
so it would be Chief Hilliard who had to kiss the pig, because he really didn't want to kiss that pig.
So whoever doesn't want to kiss the pig actually ends up kissing the pig.
No.
And
So
that's a big
I'm
joke.
on the hunt for a piglet,
Nice, nice.
and the default is Daisy May.
There you go.
Is that the
Well,
goat?
Make sure that it's really dirty in the
Oh,
mud,
goodness.
one.
She's almost the size of this table.
How
But
are
make
you gonna
sure
get
it
her there?
plays in the mud before it comes.
Oh, she loves the mud.
Okay. So where do we donate?
Well, that'll be during the event, the main
When's the event?
the
It's the 22nd?
22nd.
June 22nd at the
I
street
thought-
fair?
No.
Yeah, it's the summer fair.
At
And
the
we
summer
could-
fair,
Yeah.
we're gonna donate. I gotta start saving now
Yeah.
because John Scanlon is gonna be the one that
Kisses that pig.
Kiss the Pig event.
How about we turn that
You tell my
into a
kids,
pig roast at the following
We're
week?
not gonna roast the pig after he kisses John. No
All
way.
right.
Especially if it's mine.
Wow, John.
Poor thing.
If it's Catherine's, we can't roast it till it's 7 or 8.
It would take you a couple of days.
No.
So I have to be there for this?
Of
Yes.
course you're gonna be kissing it. And I'm gonna save
Just
money.
pray I
for this.
can't find the pig.
I'm gonna have to work extra money for
Catherine, you
extra
could find
jobs
it.
for this.
Open.
I'll make some phone calls.
Put it on
tomorrow.
Facebook. I'll put it on Facebook, my 300 Facebook.
You can't get a pig, get a heifer.
I think the
Well,
little goat.
I
the
offered one of
goat.
my roosters.
The goat. You've got a nice little goat. He's very cute. She's very cute. Whichever.
Or my
Kiss the
pony,
The nasty pony.
the Shetland
Kiss it without
pony.
getting bit.
You'd have to
Those
kiss her quick because
ponies,
she'll bite
Yeah,
you.
those
No,
ponies.
she
are-
doesn't bite.
So that was interesting, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine.
Now I know why I saved you for last.
Oh, it's
tonight.
great to be the chair, isn't it?
Now, if I'm not available, the co-chair steps in.
Vice chair, yeah.
Oh, ouch, ouch. I'll kiss that pig.
Okay.
I think that's the old card.
Well, if he could be stun gunned, he would kiss a pig, no doubt.
The only thing I forgot to mention was,
Right on the
it looks
butt.
like DOT came through and swept up 3 and 11 and
Nice.
cleaned up. I haven't checked in, how great a job they did, but we had some good thunderstorms right after, so that probably cleaned it up good.
They were doing School Street today after the storm last night, and I'll bet it works a whole lot better when it's dry.
Oh, gosh,
He was
yeah.
backing up. I mean, he must have gone over it 4 or 5 times. He was trying really hard,
It just compacted too
but it
much.
just turned into mud.
Now, if it's appropriate, can we bring up cleaning the windows, please?
I've been putting smiley faces on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. And the fans? Can we look into getting those cleaned?
I wrote it down earlier.
Wicked.
Yeah, the windows.
Okay,
are
So
disgusting.
we want to still go into non-public for, that's still valid. So I'm going to make a motion that we go into non-public as per RSA 91A3:2, and that is C, matters if discussed in public would likely adversely affect the reputation of any person other than the member of a body or agency itself. Such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance, tax abatement, or waiver of fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant.
Second.
We have a second roll call vote.
Constantino, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Bog, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
Scanlon, yes.
And red is on. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to seal minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to public reputation and personnel issues permanently.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Now, John, now,
Go for it.
motion to adjourn. Second. Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
All those in favor, aye. So moved.
What was I gonna get you?
Happy birthday, chief.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Bob, you old
Oh,